Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give a step-by-step tutorial on how to add multicolor vinyl to a mug. I just posted another video just showing one color vinyl, but this is a great beginner project if you just received a Cricut machine. These make excellent gifts and you can personalize them however you like. I found this mug at the Dollar Tree. They have tons of drinkware options that you can personalize with your Cricut. When choosing vinyl for your mug, you'll want to pick adhesive permanent vinyl. Some vinyl have way better quality than others, and I will tell you my go-to choices. I personally don't love Cricut's vinyl, and I don't use it too often. In today's video, I'm going to be using Tech Wrap Craft Vinyl. They have beautiful and unique vinyl options. My other favorites are Starcraft brand. I purchased that from 143vinyl.com and it's excellent quality. My other go-to is Oracal 651 and you can purchase that at Michael's. This specific Tech Wrap vinyl is called Metallic Satin Chrome and it is so pretty. I love the colors. I can leave a link down in the description box. Also, Tech Wrap was kind enough to give me a discount code that you can always use on any of their products. It's Kayla in all caps and you get 5% off. So if you decide to purchase, make sure you use that discount code. When figuring out my design size, I just take a measuring tape and I measure the cup. It looks like about 2.5 inches is good for the width. My design this time is pretty narrow and long, so I also measure the height, which it looks like about 3 inches is good for the height. I'm also going to clean my mug with rubbing alcohol. This is a step I wouldn't skip. It cleans the surface of the mug and gets any dirt off so the vinyl will stick much better. This really helps with the longevity of the vinyl on the mug. I'm in Cricut Design Space and I'm going to upload my image that I'm using for my mug. I already have it selected here, but I'll show you how I go and upload it. I'll select Upload Image, Browse. Here's the bundle that I'm using. I downloaded this from Creative Fabrica. They have an amazing membership where you get tons and tons of fonts and SVGs, so I'll leave a link down there if you're interested. The one I'm using says You Got This. You can see that there is a PNG image and there is an SVG image. You'll want to select the SVG. What this does is it gives you all those different layers in Cricut Design Space, so it's a lot easier to edit the image and change colors, and I'll show you how I do that. The PNG is better if you are doing print and cut. I'll select that and hit open. I'll select upload and I will bring this into my canvas. As you can see in the layers panel, there's a ton of layers. The layers panel is the best because it just kind of helps you figure out what's going on with the image. It looks like this image is all grouped together, so you can't work with it when it's grouped together. So I'm going to come up here and I'll select ungroup. Now we have our different layers. I do want to delete some things. I don't want the heart and these little dashes, and I'm also going to take out the diamonds. An easy way to do this is just select it and hit delete on your keyboard. You can select on the canvas or you can come in here and select in the layers panel. It won't let me click on this one because U is a layer above the diamond. So an easy way to do this is just click in the layers panel and hit delete. Now I'm going to figure out my colors. I'm going to be using two different vinyl sheets. I'm using a blue and a pink. I'm going to match up whatever color vinyl I'm using with what color I want it to be for the design. So I'm going to change this to blue because that's what color vinyl I want it to be. This one I'm going to make it pink. Now for these, I'm going to make them the vinyl colors I want as well. It's not letting me click on this flower, so I'll come down to my layers panel. Okay, that's what I want my colors to look like. Now I am going to attach the colors together. So I'm going to select all my pink and attach it. In my layers panel, I'm going to grab Got. You can see this is grouped together. I only have to select that top layer. I'll hit shift on my keyboard and select the flower and the star. Now I'll come down here and select attach. Now I'm going to grab my blues and attach those, and once again I'm just hitting shift on my keyboard to select all of them in the layers panel. I'll come down here and select attach. My last step is to size this. Now I don't want to just select one and let's say we size it, then it does that. I'm going to hit undo. You can drag your mouse over everything and you can see it's all selected in the layers panel. You can group it, but I don't even bother doing that because it's all selected when I just highlight over it, if that makes sense. Usually with my sizing, I go off of my width, but this is a very long image, so I ended up deciding the height first, and I decided on 3 inches. It made it 2.461 inches, which is good because I wanted it to be around 2.5 inches for the width anyways. Now I can click make it. It's asking me what mat and I'm using mine. You can use any of the Cricut machines for this, and here it will separate it by color. So it's going to cut the blue one out first, then it's going to cut out the pink. I'll hit continue. For my cut setting, I'm going to select vinyl. Since the Cricut showed that it's cutting the blue vinyl first, I placed that on my Cricut mat to cut out first. I like to put the whole roll of vinyl on my mat. I think so many people like to measure it and cut it before, but for me, it's always been the easiest just to throw the whole thing on the mat. You'll want to place it in the top left corner. I also like to use a brayer tool to push it into the mat. This helps make sure it stays in place while the Cricut is cutting out the design. I press the blinking arrow to load the mat into the machine. Once the start button blinks, then I press that as well, and the Cricut will start cutting out my design. When it's done, I press the blinking arrow to remove the mat from the machine. Then I bend the mat backwards to remove the vinyl. I cut around the design, then I add my rose pink vinyl to the mat, and I follow the exact same step. Depending on what Cricut machine, you might have to select the setting again in Cricut Design Space. Next, I weed out the excess vinyl. When doing this with adhesive vinyl, it can be tricky. It can be easy to weed out something you want to keep, so I recommend just doing this slowly. You can use the Cricut weeding tool, but I really like my pen tool. It makes it really easy to get those tiny pieces, especially inside of the letters. Next, I'll be adding transfer tape to add this vinyl to the mug. There's so many options out there. I have tried tons and tons, but this is now my go-to. It's Caesar brand. It works so well. It picks up the vinyl easily. It lets go of it easily. It's clear. It has grid lines. So I love it. I would highly recommend it. Instead of adding both vinyls onto the mug and trying to line it up that way, I actually combine them together before I even go over to the mug. This just works so well. I cut the transfer tape the same size as the blue vinyl because that's my final piece. So what I do first is I grab my transfer tape and I place it in the center of the pink. I use my scraper tool to scrape the front and the back of the vinyl. Scraping the back is key because it really helps that vinyl stick onto the transfer tape. Also, another big tip is remove the backing of the vinyl. Now I can apply this vinyl to my other vinyl, and it just makes it so much easier lining it up like this instead of trying to do it on the mug. Now, if you have multiple colors, I do have an even better hack, and that is using parchment paper, and I do have a video going in detail showing how to do that, so I will leave a link down in the description box for that. The vinyl wasn't sticking onto the transfer tape as easily, so what I like to do is this little hack and place my scraper tool along the backing as I take it off. I line it up as best as I can in the center and try to make it straight. I also like to press down on the center first, then work my way out. Some designs can be tricky on a curved surface like a mug, so what you can do is cut slits in the transfer tape when you apply it to the mug, and it makes a huge difference. It kind of releases that transfer tape so you can apply it easier. After pressing down on the vinyl, I can remove my transfer tape. For washing instructions, you do not need to seal this at all. It is permanent, but there are a few things that will help it last much longer. Vinyl has to cure to the surface, so if you wash this right away, it is going to seep under it and not last as long. So I would wait 24 to 48 hours before washing it. These also cannot go in the dishwasher. It just gets way too hot and it will take the vinyl off, so you'll want to hand wash it. Following all of the application process and care instructions, the vinyl should last for several years. This mug just looks so cute, and this vinyl is just gorgeous. I love it so much. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new.